So, basically got the intake, coils, accessories, all that off right now. 15 minutes in, and all we gotta do is go underneath and undo the tranny and hook up our engine hoist. She's about ready to go. All right, well, basically got everything on the top end of the motor done. Water pump, all that's off. Obviously, no matter what job you do on it, like a water pump job you do, you will always spill a little bit. In this case, I let go of it too soon. It basically fell, dumped all over the place, but that's all right. Basically got everything off the front of the motor, everything off the top of the motor that needs to come off, the Holly terminators out of the way. So all we gotta do is undo our tranny, and then she's about ready to come out. You ever done an LS job? You know the struggle of this. The old 4 different extensions to get to your top couple tranny bolts. It's all right though, it don't take that long. All right, tranny's unbolted, motor's ready to come out. Took us all about 30 minutes. Made this shit simple. Well, as you clearly see, OG5.3 is coming out. Here, grab the engine crane. Well, this is the OG5.3 Lil Ripper 1.0. She finally.
Just over an hour and 3 minutes.
Basically, just pulled that motor in an hour. We had a couple hang-ups that we just forgot a couple things, but other than that, she's out. So we're back here at the house. We can't conclude we did not crack a piston or chip the edge of a piston off. Hang on, I'm gonna wipe out the old camera here. Yeah, we just threw a rod bearing. They all look fine. All right. Yo, come look at this. What's that? What's this on this piston? What's that right there? That little like shiny part. What is that? Yeah. Yeah. Everything looks fine with the pistons. Just not a cracked piston or nothing. Heads look fine. Great. Biggest concern is the cam because we have another motor for it. We just got to make sure the cam isn't messed up or scarred or anything. So that's our biggest concern right now. Hang on real quick. As you can see, a bunch of metal shapes in the valley tray, but spin her over and see
that also could have been from like the head bolts coming off, and then
yeah, we dropped it on there. So you probably put it through a parts cleaner or something like that, won't you?
What?
The cam.
Oh, yeah.
Put it through a parts cleaner and then whatever the hell you said you were gonna do to it. Oh, bad move. Bad. Made it bigger mess. Obviously, oil comes out the top of the motor. Forgot about that one. All of our electric impacts are dead because we don't got our good tools here. Ever. So we're dealing with shit. Oh, don't want to track the inside of the house. All right. here. Throwing everything in a box. That's all you need. Alrighty. Windage tray. Bearing material in your pickup tube thingy, your screen.
I'll switch them down there.
Oh yeah, look at that right there. Woo! That's what you want to see right there. But yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, 13.
Oh dang. All right, who wants to be the lucky one?
She is.
There she is right there.
Look at that.
Yep. Just, what cylinder is that?
Cylinder number 5.
5. Lucky one. Only one. Damn. Sadly, the OG5.3. It's been in that truck since I was a freshman. You were a sophomore. We put this motor in there, and it's
about 580, 600 crank horse, and 320,000 miles roughly. Been making 600 crank horse for the last 3 years, last 15 to 20,000 miles.
And I'd say a third of that has been rev limiter.
Oh yeah, easily.
Rev limiter and 2 steps. So
just flat out 6,800 RPM.
Yeah. Basically, this motor's been put through the paces, so I'm kind of surprised it lasted this long. But, you know, we kind of got lucky with this one. It was found from an 01 Tahoe that we had actually took that truck and put this motor in it because we wanted to make it a daily driver again. And then we saw the potential of LS, and this is what she looks like. Anyway, so the story of how this thing blew a rod bearing is. So we were out cruising it the other night at a couple meetups, and we're doing we did a pull earlier in the night, and it just felt like it got lazy, like we had lost a cylinder. Well, then we go do another pull. We got up to about 110. The thing lays over, won't go any faster than 110. So lets out of it, lets it roll, and then it rolls for a little bit on idle, and then just stops, dead in its tracks. And started it up, and drove it home on knock and rod. Holly was in limp mode the entire time. Wouldn't let us get out of second gear, but that's what happened. It picked up, went to like 110, about 5,500 RPM, and it just laid over and didn't want to go any farther. And we now know the reason why. See, it focuses. That's a cam bearing laying on the cam where it's come off. I've got to push that thing so it's off the cam, and he's going to take a die grinder.
Cut her like so.
Oh shit, don't cut my fingers.
Oh, I can't see.
Here. You could bring her head over here. I'd rather have you cut my fingers than me get the shot. Or not cut my fingers. Ouch! All right. Yeah, workbench is pretty dirty. We barely ever work out of the shop anymore. Project update. Die grinded the bearing off the cam. Cam looks fine. There's only one bearing race, ride, whatever you want to call it, wherever the bearing rides in the cam. That's actually a little messed up where this was stuck on it. But we think we're going to have the machine shop look at it and see if it's a thing that we can just have them clean up and fix. Yeah, it's about a storm. Have them clean up and fix and see if we can slide it back in this motor. This is our new motor for the truck. Just a plain Jane 5.3 out of a, I think it's like an 03 Silverado or something like that. Low miles. You only got like 80,000 miles out of it. Our buddy pulled out of a wrecked vehicle, and he wasn't doing nothing with it, so we bought it off him, and we're gonna stick it in the white truck, and hopefully she's a full ripper. All right, so this is the blown up block sitting there on the ground. 6.0 for the monte. Well, I might need that. This is the new motor. Pulling the cam out, getting it ready to be built and put in the truck. Also, don't do the back. That's gonna go up against the transmission. Nobody's gonna really give a shit if they see it or not. So who cares? Also, you can't get to it without spraying your engine stand. So fuck it. Paint the block that people are gonna see. Don't have to worry about where they're not gonna see. All right, so project update. Got the cam back from the machine shop. What'd they say about it exactly?
He said the cam bearing just spun in the block is what the groove was from. So we're golden. All the marks were just from heat. I mean, yeah, he polished her out, so we ain't got to deal with none of that. Now we're just lubing her up now.
Yep. And so that's a Howard Rattler what lift cam? Like,
it's the 530 intake, 535 exhaust, something like that.
Something like that. So pretty fat cam. 799 heads, cleaned up. Tuning upgrade. Gen 4. I think these are Gen 4 rocker arms out of something. I don't really know. Nice, like really nice rocker arms from Indiana Muscle Car. And she's pretty solid, stout built. It was a stout built motor, just it was an old weakened motor. Now we have a decent, like a decent low mileage 5.3, you know, fat cam. So we should be a lot more set than when we were kids.
Yep.
You want to make sure you turn these cams and stuff so you don't, because if you like don't turn it and then keep just pushing it, if you just push, you'll shove a cam bearing race right off the race. Yeah, it runs on the race. Yeah. I don't know, I'm retarded. I don't know. And there she is. She's in. All lubed up in the motor. Alright, so now lifters and trays. You got new trays, and our lifters are soaking right now. There's nothing special about these lifters right there.
There's LS7 Corvette lifter.
So,
just a better hydraulic than a truck lifter.
Yep.
But everybody runs an LS7, so.
Yeah.
Pretty much all the lifters that came in a truck motor back in 02 are like the old style. Like nobody ever uses it anymore. So LS7 just isn't really a Corvette lifter. It's just a general lifter now.
Yeah. It's just a better upgrade to do.
Now throw our cam plate on. We got this is an important piece.
Right now, we're just cleaning up the heads so our 799 heads from Indiana Muscle Car don't look like shit. And so our Holly intake, high-rise intake, done having a leak. You know, make sure it's a nice and smooth surface. One very important step of doing any sort of head cleaning, polish your front side of the head so it looks like you got CNC marks in it. Always do that. And so when you pull up to the meet and everybody's looking at the engine bay, you're like, yep, CNC'd heads right there.
You already know the deal. But don't do the backside. If you do the backside, that just disqualifies you.
You're disqualified. Why would you?
Only the side that matters.
Only the side that people see is the side that you do.
Next step, building an LS101. Get a new genuine GM cam thrust plate. When we first built this motor, I ain't gonna lie, we used some RTV on an old thrust plate and we got by with it. But this little orange seal, there's barely a lip on it. That gets flat real easy. And these journals right here, if this seal breaks, you lose oil pressure throughout the whole motor, just like spinning a rod bearing. So this time, the only thing we didn't cheap out on is a new thrust plate, because I knew we weren't using the old one. Right. So, and with a new one, it comes with new countersunk bolts, which are right yonder, the ICT. They don't use flat shoulder bolts, they're countersunk torques.
Yeah. But last time we built this motor, when we built the first motor, we were very on a budget. Now we're still on a budget. We're still on a budget. We're still on a budget. We're just a higher budget.
We're at a high school level, bringing home $110 a week at the old Pace Huntington Chevrolet dealership, and now we're on like a full time, like trying to move out. trying to move out, bringing home project cars every other week.
We brought trying to move out, trying to get our own shop built, at the same time bringing home a dune buggy chassis, blowing up a motor, buying a pre-runner Jeep, and buying a Project Mazda RX-7. So we're not trying that hard. Oh yeah. But no, we used to scrape up scraps just to make everything work on the old motor. And this one, we got a little bit higher budget for it, so we can go a little more baller on it. And that means upgrading 300,000 mile part. And that's what it's gonna come down to. So, it's an important thing. Do it, or else you'll be regretting it later. So, one other, you guys might be thinking at this point, you might have clicked off the video and been like, yeah, these guys are fucking rednecks, don't want to watch them do this stupid shit. I don't want to move that son of a bitch. But, I don't know, is it like a written rule that you're supposed to spray something on these? Like, you know, like a, you know, type of shit? You know what I'm talking about?
The copper coating?
Yeah, copper coating.
What do you mean?
Like, aren't you like really supposed to do that? But, like,
give me a box of head bolts.
The fuck are those? Here. Here. But like, aren't you like you're really supposed to do that?
Just double checking the bore, because I didn't check that. You'll lay the finger in there, feel the cylinder wall, feel that head gasket. Golden.
Gold.
Clean the head off one more time. What do you mean a golden rule with the gasket?
Like, isn't that like a rule that, like, you know?
You can do it, yeah. Is it necessary? No. I mean, it's just a peace of mind.
Now, I'm pretty sure this goes with every single motor, but a little bit of oil on the end of the head bolts. What does that exactly do?
It makes it have a smoother torque curve. So it's
sense.
not binding up with the dry surface.
Makes sense. Got a bolt here. So yeah, this. I mean, people, you know, people who are just too anal about shit would probably tell you, "Wah, change your oil, wah, from your lifters." But you know, greasy hand stuff gets in there and kind of just send it. So people would be like, "Wah, assembly lube, wah," but we're just like, fuck it. Use whatever oil we got sitting around. Use whatever oil we got sitting around, because it ain't cheap. Shit ain't cheap. Alright, so this is the first pass at what, 22 foot-pounds?
We already did 20. That was 90 degrees.
That's 90 degrees.
90, 90, then 50.
We got the old cylinder head, torque pattern. Now we're torquing to 90 degrees. Oh, we did this with that bunk ass fucking thing. And then Bill.
We literally did it by hand.
Yeah, we did it by hand because we'd start the wrench like this. And then we just fucking move it 90 degrees. And like, it was close enough 90 degrees that it wouldn't really matter that much.
But now we've advanced to some snip on nice.
We've advanced to some nice shit right there.
Yeah, dude, I ain't gonna find it.
Cause we had this little tool that would like what go in this wouldn't like go in.
You bolted it to a rocker arm and it had a needle that you put on a dial.
And tell you, but we just kind of got sick and tired because the thing worked like shitty. So we just would put it here, and then we'd like put it like this, and then we just move it until it was at 90, and called it good. Now we're doing first pass on this side, 22 foot-pounds on the big bolts, and then I mean, I look up when we go to Jegs and it gives you a whole like list of what everything needs to be, but they're only passes 22 foot-pounds, and then the rest of these you go to like there's from 22 foot-pounds like 74 foot-pounds and goes 90, 90, and then 50 degrees. So you do a good amount of you do a crazy sequence, but like so it's.
Which is odd because I'm going from a diesel mechanic being like 220, 240 foot-pounds final torque sequence, and then another 90 degrees. This is like a chode.
Literally.
Like literally.
What's 6.7 head bolt torque?
I know 6 liters for 220 was a final torque, and then another 90 degrees, so that's probably around 300.
Some bitch, and these are like, what do you think?
4 bolts per cylinder.
So what do you think this some bitch is? Like, what is like your
Maybe
final torque spec?
Final torque. We'll find out here in a minute, but I can go right over here. When the bolt just starts to move, I'll show you what it is. I bet it's about 140. Not moving yet. There it just broke over. About 64.
Some bitch, that ain't nothing.
But they're torque to yield bolts, so they're made to stretch.
Yeah.
Most of what you feel in the bolt is what's stretching. So now we go 90.
Alright, then boom, 90. It's a pretty simple task to do this. Honestly, LS is a pretty simple motor to rebuild, but there's people out there who'll fuck it up. So, yeah, I wouldn't go off if you want to actually know how to. Well, I mean, you can. You want to know how to actually rebuild an LS. It wouldn't go off of us, but you can. Should be alright.
Be alright.
Should be alright. But yeah, go to like Jegs and they'll give you a whole list of flywheel bolts and everything that you need to like all the specs you'll need to do anything. So that's where I'd go to just look it up and then run a pattern thing like that. Pretty easy. You can find it all over the internet. Everybody and their brother probably got a torque spec. They got their own fucking way they do it, but we just do it the way that people say to do it. So pretty simple task. So clearly we only did this because I couldn't find the Torx bit for the cam plate bolts until he started doing the heads, so we just finished up the heads then. Then you come in here and you do your timing gear. Get it on the dowel. We have so many assortment of LS bolts in this building that basically, well, other than, I'm gonna tell you a little story about the second LS motor we ever built. So I came across this $500 truck with a lifter ticket.
Oh yeah. Don't matter if she's crosshair or not. Tight's tight. Turning an inch coot.
Dude thought it was rod knocking, so he's like, oh, it's gonna need a whole new motor and shit. There's a Gen 4 4.8 flat top piston motor with 320,000 miles on it, but like I needed a pickup to drive, and that was a pretty damn good truck for if you ask me. So we went and bought it. Me and Colton pulled the motor out and put his Gen 3 heads and cams, lifters, and just bought a DoD delete kit just without all the cam and all that Johnny. Just bought a Texas Speed top plate for it. Basically just rebuilt the top end of the motor. And it's a single bolt center cam gear. And we had put a 3-bolt cam gear on it with the thingy to make it so that the cam read right. And so we took 3 water pump bolts, cut them down about an inch, grinded them so that cut bolts going right in there, boy. They were edged or like a cone at the end, and then ran them in there, and that's what's holding that truck together right there. Now, if you can't say that that's not one of the dankest things you ever heard, and it works great. It works great. I've driven that truck for probably 15,000 miles now, and we beat the ever-living piss out of it too. We do red limiter burnouts in it, and she still rips. So I'd say oh yeah, boys. You could just about put, if it's a bolt that'll thread into the hole in an LS and it fully tightens down, you have enough threads inside of it, I'm pretty sure you could just use it. Other than you're not supposed to reuse your head bolts, but I'm pretty sure we had to reuse one because we bought a set. I think we lost one in the process, and then so we just slid one in there and sent it, and it worked just fine. So pretty much can use any bolt as long as it threads into the hole and run it down. Okay, so update. Front cover's on, putting a pickup tube and a little reinforcement plate on it.
What the hell?
What
is that supposed to do?
You sure not supposed to take that thing off?
No, there's a little vending fence for it.
Ah. Anyway, heads are on.
I'll get you down here verbal.
Rocker arms, push rods, all that's in. Valley cover, knock sensors are in. Basically, oil pan, crank pulley, and she ready to go, boys. Oh, sorry I missed a whole lot of action, but had some friends over and we just kind of talking, you know, cracking each other up. Just having a good time. So we just kind of banged out the motor real quick. She's done in the back of the beater and ready to go in the truck tomorrow. So tomorrow at like 9 a.m. we're gonna go put it in the truck. It's a truck, on trailer clearly. Motor, back of the truck. Got the fork truck, about to push in the shop and get started to put the motor in. So we're unbolting the trans mount so that we can scoot the transmission back. We're gonna set the motor in, then we're gonna line the tranny up. Just a way easier way of doing it. All right,
this ground wire goes on a stud.
Yeah, up top. Torque converter in, trans hooked up, motor's in. And we gotta do is go up and hook up all of our bad Johnnies and she's ripping. Okay, so update. Everything, back and motor's hooked up, everything's ready. All we gotta do is put the Holly intake on, coil rack, hook it all up, and she's ready to rip. It's in, all hooked up, everything's hooked up, tranny's on, everything's ready to go. Almost ready to fire this baby. Crank it! We're just pumping oil through the motor. We're trying to pump oil for the motor. Here's some oil pressure. because, you know, we had the motor completely apart. It's got 0 oil in it. And tune should still be the same all through the Holly. Just be able to fire right up and shut off if we need to. Start it! Well, shit was in gear. What the hell? Thing fires right up. Running right now. You're looking at the rocker arm. You'll see on LS's, you'll see, I don't know, I mean, I've only ever really dug into LS's and diesel motors, but you'll see oil come up through the push rod, through the rocker arm, and then go down the rocker arm onto the valve spring. And that's what he's looking for. That's what he's looking for right now. Well, that's always a good one to see. Battery volts is good. Fuel pressure, it's on. What? Good thing to see though that we got oil pressure and everything. So everything coincided, everything looks good and tight. So we're gonna run with it. All put together. That was a good one. Yeah! Let's go! Come on, give us some pepper! Give us some pepper! Come on! Give us some pepper! Give her some sauce! What up with that? Yeah! Truck means nothing! Yeah! Yeah! Let's go! Let's go! It's Western Diesel! Jeep sitting pretty up here. Western Diesel sitting not that far. Western Diesel. Alright, so project update. We were trying to run this thing yesterday. We ran about actually about 10 times. And we lost all power to the Holly for some reason, and something was just not cooperating, so we kept losing power to Holly and popping fuses. Well, we were like, well, it's not a ground issue. We're losing power somewhere. And just so happened that, what wire is this, Milk?
The starter solenoid wire.
Starter solenoid wire. Must have got pinched between there and was rubbing through on the frame.
Look how hot that thing.
Dude, look at how hot that thing got. She must have been cooked.
That whole
So,
wire needs replaced.
shit. So, there's our issue. Well, I guess check your wires, boys. It was pinched up there between, like, right there. It was pinched. It was sitting up in there like that. And it just burned itself because we were trying to start it and it just kept popping fuses, so that must have been getting hotter than hell. And it must have rubbed up in there and vibrated because the cam shakes the motor so much. It must have just rubbed through and made it go junk. So, well, good thing we found our issue. It's just a wire. We got plenty of it here. We can replace it. Fixed our issue. Baby started right up. Well, we just finished up the truck. It's up there. Milk's driving in front of me. I'm following home. He's got a little bit of misfire. I'm sharking the long travel Jeep home behind Milk, making sure nothing goes wrong. Just following him, make sure he gets home at least. He's up there just chilling right now, 55 mile an hour-ish, because he doesn't want to bucket up after the misfire. Right behind him. Yep, she's a cruiser. Truck definitely cruises pretty well. Just got that misfire. We think it's just a bad plug wire or a bad coil. We have plenty sitting at home. We part out so many LS trucks and pull the motors and stuff that we got stuff sitting around that could work for that truck. So stay tuned. All right, so it was literally just a plug was messed up. Like the electrode was broken off. What happened when we put them in? So now she's misfire or no misfire, cruising smooth right now. That is definitely not how it felt when it blew up. Oh yeah, this has way more pep. Well, it's been just about a week since we put everything back together. And here she is.
Sitting at 190 coolant, 185 trans, 45 pounds of pressure, 2,665.
Yep. That's probably the longest trip on the 9-inch and all that, but nothing like going on a 40-minute trip to Fort Wayne on your freshly built motor. Not even broken in yet, but she'll be alright.
OG5? Sun's fucked up.
That thing up. Oh my god, he was hitting the rev limiter for like a minute straight. He just wants to blow that thing up.
It sounds nice, guys.
Thank you, thank you. Give him two-step right here. God damn. Oh my god. Chimney shit. He's just asking to blow that bitch up.